It began with a scream, not the kind you hear in horror movies. No dramatic thunder, no eerie music, just a quiet, sharp, guttural sound that slipped under the door of a fake prison cell and settled in your bones. Because that scream wasn't for attention. It wasn't scripted. It was the sound of a young man's identity shattering. And no one ran to help him. They wrote it down as data. Welcome to the Stanford Prison Experiment, where the walls were fake, the chains were fake, the roles were assigned, and yet, what happened inside that basement was all too real. Let's rewind. It's 1971, Stanford University, California. Dr. Philip Zimbardo, a respected psychologist, wants to study human behavior in prison environments, but not in real prisons. Too complicated, too messy, too slow. So he builds his own. In the basement of Stanford's psychology department. 3 small cells, a yard, solitary confinement, just a dark, empty closet. 24 young men are selected from over 70 applicants. Each is psychologically screened. Only the most stable are chosen. Smart, healthy, middle class, no prior arrests, no mental illness, no red flags. Randomly, they are assigned roles. Half will be guards, half will be prisoners. They are strangers, they have no history with each other, and yet within days, they'll be begging, screaming, crying, breaking, not because of what they are, but because of what they've been told to pretend. Day 0. Prisoners are arrested in their homes. Actual police officers show up, cuff them, search them, read their Miranda rights. Neighbors watch, families panic. The prisoners don't know it's part of the plan. That's the point. They're taken to a real police station, booked, fingerprinted, mugshots, then they're blindfolded, driven to the fake prison, stripped naked, sprayed with delousing powder, given a smock, no underwear, rubber sandals, no name, just a number. The guards, meanwhile, are told to report for duty. They get uniforms, mirrored sunglasses, batons, whistles, and one instruction: maintain order. No script, no code of conduct, just power and freedom. And a quiet implication: what happens is up to you. Day 1. The guards pace awkwardly. They try to assert authority. They call roll, make the prisoners line up. It's clumsy, forced, uncomfortable. The prisoners laugh it off. They joke. They know it's all pretend. Until night falls. Then one guard decides to assert himself. He makes a prisoner do push-ups for no reason. The others join in. They start echoing commands, shouting, repeating numbers, demanding silence. The prisoners still smile, but the smiles feel thinner. Day 2. The rebellion begins. The prisoners tear off their ID numbers, block the cell doors with their beds, refuse to follow orders. The guards react. Swiftly, brutally. They call in reinforcements, drag prisoners from their cells, strip them naked, take away their mattresses. They isolate the ringleaders, throw them in the closet. The hole. They shout over protests, start using the nightsticks, not for show. Punishment becomes creative. Push-ups with others sitting on their backs, running laps in the tiny hallway, cleaning toilets by hand. They make prisoners chant their numbers, again and again, until voices crack. And suddenly, the guards aren't unsure anymore. They've found their rhythm, and it's cruel. Day 3. Prisoner 8612 breaks down. He screams, "I can't take it anymore." He begs to leave. Zimbardo says no, tells him to return to his cell, that he can't quit. 8612 begins to unravel. He screams that the prison is real, that they can't get out. And everyone watches, takes notes. No one helps him. Finally, they let him go, but only after he threatens to sue. The guards don't react with concern. They react with anger. He got out. They didn't. And now, the guards double down. They start inspecting the prisoners' bodies, search them constantly, humiliate them. They make them do jumping jacks in the middle of the night. They wake them every hour for roll call. They use food as a weapon, deny bathroom access. They tell prisoners to defecate in buckets and then refuse to empty the buckets. One guard forces a prisoner to simulate sexual acts on another. Zimbardo watches. Still, no one intervenes. The guards begin forming identities, nicknames, catchphrases. They talk about breaking the prisoners. They high-five each other after cruel shifts. Some come in early, stay late. They don't want to miss anything. The prison is becoming their stage, and they like the spotlight. The prisoners, they're slipping. They stop speaking unless spoken to. They follow orders immediately. Some begin policing each other, reporting minor infractions to the guards. Zimbardo and his team introduce a parole hearing to see how prisoners react. They ask them to explain why they should be released. Most beg, plead, cry. They're told they can leave if they give up their payment. Every single one agrees. They're told no, they must return to their cells. Not one walks out, because they believe they're trapped. The guards continue the game. They create a privileged cell, select compliant prisoners and give them special treatment, food, beds, clean clothes. The rest are punished harder. It works. The prisoners turn on each other. Trust is gone. They argue, sabotage, anything to survive. Day 5. Another prisoner breaks. He screams, cries, falls to the floor and curls into a ball. The guards laugh. Zimbardo watches. Still no one stops it. A priest is brought in to talk to the prisoners. A real priest. He asks for their names. Most respond with their numbers. He tells them they need legal help. Some cry. Others ask if their parents can get them out. Still believing. It's real. And then Christina Maslach arrives, a graduate student, Zimbardo's girlfriend. She sees the prisoners, their broken eyes, their bent bodies, their muttering voices. She sees the guards, laughing, shouting, swaggering. She sees Zimbardo, wearing sunglasses, speaking like a warden. And she says, "What you're doing to these boys is horrible." That sentence cuts through the fog. Not prisoners, not numbers, not data. Boys. The next day, Zimbardo ends the experiment. It lasted 6 days, not 14. 6. And in those 6 days, healthy students became sadistic guard. Quiet young men became trembling wrecks. Empathy was replaced with efficiency. Identity was replaced with obedience. This wasn't about prison, it was about human nature. And it wasn't staged. It was legal, funded, published, celebrated. So what do we take away from this? Not lessons, just observations. Give someone a fake uniform in 5 hours, and they'll start believing they were born to wear it. Call someone by a number long enough, and they'll forget their name and why it mattered. The ones who obey don't always feel like they're following. Sometimes they think they're the ones in control. Cruelty doesn't start with hatred. It starts with a shrug, a laugh, and someone saying, "That's just how it works." Nobody wakes up and decides to be a villain. They just wake up, step into their assigned role, and stop asking questions. The scariest part? The guards went home after their shifts, slept, ate dinner, watched TV, and came back. Worse. The prisoners began to police each other, not because they wanted to, but because it made the punishment stop. Nobody ever said, "Let's hurt these kids." It just happened, slowly, systematically, casually. The experiment didn't change people, it revealed them. And somewhere inside each of us, there's a version waiting to emerge. One we hope never gets the right conditions to wake up. Comment below, I wouldn't last 6 days either. Let's drop the act. Let's face what we are. And if this made you question yourself, good. Because next time we're not watching a simulation, we're looking at reality. Where the roles are still assigned and the rules are still written in whispers. This is Meta Silent,